Right now, there's a massive shift in global power happening. But it's not happening with a bang. It's happening with a series of quiet, really strategic deals. And while the whole world is watching Washington, the real moves, the ones that are building a whole new economic order, they're being made in places like New Delhi and Canberra. So today, we're going to break down exactly how this hidden system is being built, piece by quiet piece.
Okay, so to really get how this is even possible, you've got to look at the world's superpower. Right now, Washington is just, well, it's distracted. It's tied up in knots with tariff wars, endless political infighting, and legal chaos. But here's the thing. While the US is looking inward, other nations, they are not just sitting around and waiting. They're making moves, big ones.
And that brings us right to the main event. We're talking about a high-stakes visit to New Delhi by Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney. Now, you have to understand, this was not your typical diplomatic photo op. Oh no. This was a calculated, full-on economic offensive. It was designed from the ground up to reshape the flow of capital and technology for an entire generation.
So what does an economic offensive actually look like? Well, Carney didn't just leave with a friendly handshake. He walked away with 10, count them 10, legally binding commercial agreements. And the number? It's just staggering. $5.5 billion. See, this isn't just about trade. This is about locking in the future while your biggest neighbor is looking the other way.
To really wrap your head around what's going on here, you have to understand the architect behind it all, Mark Carney. And more importantly, you need to understand the two core ideas that are driving this entire strategy. Because this is the blueprint for a totally new kind of global power.
The first big idea is something Carney calls variable geometry. And what does that mean? Well, just forget the old model where everything, and I mean everything, revolves around the US. The crucial point here is that middle powers, think Canada, India, Australia, they can now form their own flexible, powerful coalitions. They don't need to call the White House anymore to ask for permission. They're just doing it.
Okay, and the second idea. It's even more critical for the future. It's called sovereign AI. And the principle here is simple but profound. Real independence in the 21st century, it's not just about armies and borders anymore. It's about controlling your own data. Things like secure clouds, local data centers, and homegrown AI models, these are now absolutely non-negotiable for any nation that wants to be truly independent and, immune to being pushed around.
So, let's get into the guts of it. How does this $5.5 billion blueprint actually work? Let's deconstruct it, because the whole deal is built on two really strategic pillars, one that provides the raw power and another that provides the critical intelligence.
So, Pillar 1 is all about energy. And it makes sense, right? If you're going to build a whole new economic bloc, you have to secure the power source. And for a country like India, which is on track to become the world's biggest energy consumer, well, for them, this is everything.
And the centerpiece of this pillar is a landmark, $2.6 billion contract. Now, let's be super clear here. This isn't some vague memorandum of understanding. No way. This is a binding supply agreement between Cameco, one of the world's biggest uranium producers, and the Indian government itself. It's locked in.
And the scale of this thing, it's just immense. We're talking about 22 million pounds of uranium ore concentrate. That's going to be delivered all the way through 2035. With this one single deal, Canada has basically become the energy anchor for India's entire economic expansion for the next decade, completely sidestepping the political chaos and volatility of the US.
But look, if energy is the anchor holding this all together, the real strategic weapon in this whole deal is the Sovereign AI Pact. Honestly, this is where Canada is playing chess, while it feels like everyone else is still playing checkers.
And this isn't just theory, right? It's already happening on the ground. As part of this deal, the Indian tech giant HCL is opening 2 brand new AI innovation centers right in Canada. And the result? Their Canadian tech workforce is about to explode from 3,000 to over 5,000 people. That's 2,000 new, high-skilled jobs being created, basically pulling global AI capital directly into Canada.
So the really big question is why? Why is this strategy working so well right at this very moment? And honestly, the answer has as much to do with the chaos down in Washington as it does with the clear-eyed strategy coming out of Ottawa. It's really a tale of two completely different approaches. First, let's just look at the hard numbers. This is what Carney was showing to Indian CEOs. Canada's tax rate on new business investment is the lowest in the entire G7, just 13%. That's a full 4.5 points lower than the US. I mean, if you're a CEO deciding where to invest billions of dollars, a gap like that basically makes the decision for you. Capital doesn't flow to chaos, it flows to stability.
And this slide just perfectly illustrates the contrast.
So while Ottawa is out there signing binding agreements, attracting capital with low taxes and fiscal stability, what's happening in Washington? Well, the Supreme Court just shot down the president's tariffs, political consensus is totally fracturing, and major companies are flagging up to $4 billion in new costs just because of tariffs. The leverage, it has completely flipped.
But here's the kicker. The Canada-India deal isn't a one-off. It's the foundational piece of a much, much larger vision. We're talking about a new alliance of middle powers creating their very own trading zone, completely independent of American influence.
So right after the India trip, Carney flew to Australia, another resource superpower. And this is where the hidden structure of this new alliance really starts to become clear. Just look at this. Together, Canada and Australia control 1/3 of the world's lithium and 1/3 of the world's uranium. And these aren't just rocks you dig up, okay? They are the absolute essential ingredients for the entire AI and green energy revolution.
And they are not just talking about it. They have activated a $25 billion war chest specifically to fast-track critical mining projects. A number like that, it signals deadly serious intent. This is basically an investment fund designed to build the supply chains for their new economic bloc, making sure they control the resources of the future.
So what's the big picture impact here? It's massive. The trading zone they're building is grounded in common standards and shared democratic values, and it already covers 1.5 billion people. This isn't just some small alternative, this is a potential rival to the existing economic blocs we all know.
So what this all really means is that the fundamental rules of global power are being rewritten right before our eyes. Canada is no longer just reacting to geopolitics, it is actively repositioning itself right in the middle of them, building a system that doesn't depend on the whims of whoever happens to be sitting in the White House.
You know, Prime Minister Carney himself said it best when he was speaking to that room full of CEOs in New Delhi. He said, "Nostalgia is not a strategy." And that's so much more than a soundbite. It's the closing statement on an entire era. The old world order, where countries like Canada just accepted whatever terms Washington offered, well, that's over.
And that leaves us with the final, absolutely critical question. As this new middle power coalition gains momentum, and as the US continues to grapple with its own internal challenges, you just have to ask yourself, who is going to be holding the pen that writes the rules for the rest of this century?